Okay. Oh, what's good, Derek? I'm getting my camera on too right now. Uh, my cam is here, so we're chilling. NBA. All right, heads up, Derek. Derek, you definitely. Oh, you can't hear me say that. Let me. What's good? What's good? What's good? Let me tweet this out as well. Seven, eight, nine.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Wes, I can hear you.
Okay.
We can't see you. We can hear you though. Yeah.
I can't hear anything from y'all. You said you can't see me. Okay.
Yeah.
Try this.
Right now, Derek is deafened. Okay. All right, let's back this up here. What's here? All right. Okay. Right. Let's get this up here. I'm gonna throw this shit away. Okay. Let me drag y'all down here. Heads up, you deafened. Yeah. Mark it out, this thing's perfect. Okay. All right, let me make sure I have this. Turn off the music and make sure my camera is currently showing. Hang on. So if I just do this in coordinate, that should be perfectly fine, right? Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, my camera is indeed showing. What's good, fellas? How's it going? We are Back very shortly after the NBA Finals. Welcome back to the locker room. Derek, how you feeling? Oh, you're muted. There you go. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I just want to say it was a fantastic season. In these little 2 hours, we'll be able to talk more in depth about the season and what it means for other upcoming seasons. But overall, man, had a blast with it. This NBA Finals, I definitely wanted to be a longer series, but it wasn't. I want to begin by saying, shout out to the Knicks, man. Me personally, for all my life, they have been a laughing stock of a franchise, and they turned around all of their endeavors. 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, the Karl Anthony Towns swap for Julius Randle, even the late season ad by Jose Alvarado. They just got enough to win, and they are a championship team. Jalen Brunson is the champion with the Finals MVP. This is the world that we are currently living in, man. So, man, what a time in basketball, right?
Just kind of a wild concept because as big of a market as New York is, my God, have they been asked most of my life. So like, salute. I'm happy for New York Knicks fans. Um, Jalen Brunson we'll get into later. Hell of a performance, legendary performance. Arguably the greatest Knick of all time. OG Anunoby, your money's no good in New York. Everywhere you go is free for the rest of your time in New York. You know what I'm saying? You were fantastic. Um, yeah, man. Karl Anthony Towns is an NBA champion.
He's a
You know
chip,
what I'm saying?
man.
Karl
Yeah.
Anthony Towns is an NBA champion, man. Salute to him.
Josh Hart won a championship with his Villanova boys. Dante DiVincenzo could have been a part of the process, but he had to get flipped, unfortunately. But they have a championship. That first podcast Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson do, I will be tapped in for. Because, like, for them of all groups to win, it is humongous. I promise you, real talk, there will be Knicks fans who name their children after OG Anunoby. In some capacity, that's going to happen because his will in this overall series was huge. I also want to say, shout out to Jalen Brunson for giving us a good performance.
Jalen are going to shoot up by 500% in New York City.
Even more Jalen in the NBA.
I saw this woman say, like, she apologized in advance, but she said, my firstborn daughter will be Anna, like her first name Anna, her middle name Nobi. So it was like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Ooh, man, that is, yeah. I think it's time to actually get into the series. I first off want to say we gave the Knicks their proper credit. I think it's well deserved. I feel like coming into the series, I do want to say this. I think we're at a point now where, as NBA fans, we have to stop this notion that the real conference finals is in the West. Because this has been now 2 back-to-back years where people feel like the real NBA finals is in the Western Conference, and then the East has given great shots in terms of a competitive overall finals. And so far, the West, been up and down, up and down, up and down. I do think the Spurs definitely did a lot of what people didn't think they would be able to. A lot of people just didn't have them actually going to the NBA Finals, but the inexperience showed in many different ways. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of overall debates about players, values, coach staff, whatever it is, but how do we feel about the way this NBA Finals played out?
Well, Derek, I mean, you can go ahead and.
Oh, I mean, I thought it played out really well. For the series, the games were decided by average a 2-point margin. We had 2 1-point games, 2 4-point games, and game 1 was the blowout, and that was a 10-point game. So, I mean, insanely close series. San Antonio had a lead, I think, in every single game. If not, then just 4 out of 5. And New York, just fourth quarter, that they dominated. Absolutely. Like, honestly, the entire Jalen Brunson tenure has kind of been defined by fourth quarter clutch factor will, out execute the other team. And the Knicks did that. And it wasn't just Brunson, who I agree we do need to get to, put some shine on because he absolutely heroic. But the whole team, top to bottom, like locked in on defense, obviously, but offensively, like really good execution down the stretch. And yeah, I mean, I had a ball watching the series. I think it was fantastic. It was frustrating rooting against the Knicks, seeing the Spurs just fall apart. But the Spurs were playing 3.5 quarters of great basketball like every game. So it was still a really fun series to watch.
Yeah, I think the inexperience for the Spurs showed up. That's kind of my big picture takeaway from them this series. Whether it be Wemby in his lack of conditioning, right? He kind of tails off as the game goes along, and I do think that now he does know what he needs to be prepared for moving forward with deep playoff runs and wanting to be an effective basketball player in the playoffs, playing 40 plus minutes. That's a good experience for him. Obviously, Stephon Castle has some things to improve on as an offensive player. Although I do think he was very impressive for majority of the playoff run. I think his series against OKC offensively definitely uh, surprised me, to say the least. Dylan Harper is a phenomenal basketball player. I do think even some of his weaknesses, though, like showed towards the end of the game, like um, his lack of a right hand right now. I do think he needs to work on some offhand finishing. He's a very left-handed player. Um, Intermediate shooting, pull-up shooting is something else, although that did tend to, come along in the series, but for it to be, reliable. And even Mitch, this is a learning experience for Mitch Johnson as well. I see some people saying we need to get rid of Mitch and have some, like, no, that's not what the San Antonio Spurs are about. That's not what they're about to do. They're about to let Mitch and the rest of the crew, this is a hard one. It's a tough one, but you're young and they're going to grow together. I'm not breaking anything up. I mean, obviously you're trying to get rid of Fox possibly, but like as far as like the young core, I'm not breaking anything up, and I'm definitely not firing the head coach who just took us to the NBA Finals in his first or second season as the coach. So, yeah, nah.
Yeah. I I'm gonna just shout out the Knicks for now. I'll save anything about the Spurs when we really start speaking about them. But yeah, I just want to congratulate the victor. And pun intended. But I just want to congratulate the champions, man. It feels so good as an honorary New Yorker myself, big Staten Island, to see New York win a championship. That's
Since
something
when?
that I don't think I would see that happen. You said since when? Like,
I've never heard you rep nothing Staten Island.
I mean,
This
you
is
could
fire. I'm
talk
here
to
for it.
anybody. But that's why I said honorary. It's not like I lived there long, so
You big
Um,
Carolinas. That's all I know from you is
I mean,
Carolina,
that's where
Carolina,
I
Carolina.
live and that's what I rep. Like Carolina, most of the time, like it's Carolina and New York, but they made me who I am. So, salute to both. But I'm just glad I got to see them win a championship in my lifetime. Like that was definitely in question for a very, very long time. To Derek's point, they've been terrible most of our lives. Like Real Talk even said it himself. So to see that take place and to happen in the fashion that it did, Brunson scoring almost half of his team points on the road, game 5, closeout game,
That's crazy.
45, like special stuff. So I'm just I'm proud of the guys. I'm very, very, very happy for Mike Brown. Very proud of him. And I just I'm very happy for him. I think he was a really, really good coach for a long time, has gotten some raw deals. And that Sacramento thing was just insane the way they handled that. It could what was 10, 12 games into the season? Like it was like how do you do that? And
Yeah.
the way it transpired with the presser about what happened at the end of the game. And then, how people treated him when the hire was made. There were a lot of people who were in favor of it, but some people who were like, yeah, Tibbs, Mike, man, same different. And it's like, nah. And so I'm really glad that Mike Brown was able to, year one, lead them to a championship. And yeah, salute to the city, man. So yeah.
A lot you said there, Wes, that I think matters so much to me. Another team that's been asked for most of my life got to be the Sacramento Kings. For you to fire your head coach, who, by the way, was like the only relevant Kings head coach that even for a season showed like, wow, like they have real fans. Wow, like this could be a thing. And then to fire him when he brought you a sense of like actual strength, accountability. Like he was going at Fox about a dumb play he made, and then the very next day he was fired. Now, granted, Fox said he didn't want him to be fired, whatever it is. I don't know what's true, what's not, but it's really telling. I think the biggest thing this Knicks ship does for me is it confirms the era of basketball that we're in. I think people need to really acknowledge the level of talent that exists in the NBA, where yes, it is possible to win a championship with a player that's not considered a top 5, top 6. Fine, like that's okay if you have a good enough roster to make up for their flaws. And that's what this Knicks team was all the way through and through. Cat was in foul trouble after pretty much game 2 for the rest of the overall series, and they were still able to overcome that because of their ads. I heard many times people say this OKC team is going to clear everyone. They don't need to make any moves in offseason. We saw them add a young overall Jerry McCain, and we saw how close they came to going to the finals as well. So, like, adding onto your team into the season matters. Jose Alvarado, in the last 5 minutes of game 4, swung this to go 3-1. Because, again, if the Spurs win that game, we don't know how that changes the whole series. That mattered. Like, these moments of these players matters, and I think that really showed up. I'm not gonna harping.
More,
Oh yeah.
oh no, I was just gonna say I was like to the coaching of Mike Brown with the Jose Alvarado. He just was able to, one of the big things about Tibbs is he never goes to the bench for real, right? He just plays the starters 45 minutes of a 48-minute game and says, "Hey, best of luck to you." But Mike Brown was able to dig into the bench a lot more. And, that was one of the strengths of this team was their depth, right? Landry Shamet being a very productive player throughout the year and the playoffs. I know you didn't have a great final, but there are games that come before the final that you have to win before you get to the final. He was great in those. Jose Alvarado didn't have too much of an impact early on, but then, has a big finals moment. You know what I'm saying? Mitchell Robinson, having one of the best backup bigs in the league who can rebound, guard, protect the basket. Like, yeah, man, Nick's really good. Mike Brown's first ballot Hall of Famer at this point. What's that?
Yeah.
5 championships, 4 as an assistant, 1 as a head coach, first ballot. And like Wes said, I'm very, very happy for Mike Brown. He had a tough stretch dealing with my GOAT personally, you know what I'm saying? The Kobe thing didn't go great. You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy that he went somewhere else and just was able to recalibrate, find himself again. And now he's an NBA champion, man.
Yeah, and I think overall to your point though, this Knicks team got a head coach in Tom Thibodeau that the whole Knicks era resurgence began with him because he was a coach that brought them a sense of like, no, this team can actually be a good team. And they go the furthest they've ever gone in a very long time. And they fired Tom to hire Mike. And to me, like, that shows that, like, while yes, Tom was a good floor for them, you have to realize the moment and what your window is. And hiring Mike, he unlocked parts of this team. And again, I have to say this too, like I doubted them heavy in the regular season because of the up and downs or whatever. But clearly Mike was able to unlock factors in this team that weren't there. And the fact that he was able to go 7 or 8 deep in the finals at times, that just shows how much more trust he put into the overall roster. Like Hart didn't have to play 48 goddamn minutes in a game in any of these final games. With Tom Thibodeau, we can't say that at all. So Mike definitely deserves his overall flowers for sure. I'm trying to think of like what else I would say. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Minnesota, you gambled. The notion to trade Karl-Anthony Towns for Julius Randle was very much a money play. You didn't keep Gilgeous-Alexander Walker. And now Anthony Edwards is in a spot where he might want out. I don't think he will, but we got to see exactly where they're able to go. They lost that trade now. Like this championship makes a bunch of the gambles we saw the Knicks make all worth it to me.
Absolutely. That's what else I wanted to give a shout out to. Shout out to risk taking, man. The Knicks. Shout out to the front office of the Knicks. Shout out to Leon Rose. Shout out to them. They came in, I believe it was what 20. What year did Leon Rose and them get there? 2020, 2021, something like that.
I think it's 2021.
Whatever year it was, I do remember this is when I was still watching First Take. Good grief. Stephen A. Smith was very excited about Leon Rose uh, getting hired in the front office, and now I see why. Just the not being content with what's going on, because you get there, right? You bring Jalen Brunson, and at that time, I know it looked wild afterwards, like, oh my goodness, Jalen Brunson's on such a cheap deal, $25 million a year. But at the time of the signing, that was really questionable in a lot of people's opinion. He's some bench player from the Mavericks. Yes, he's had his flashes, but can he come over here and be like a number one option on a really good team? So that was a swing. They hit a home run on that. You sign OG Anunoby to a very hefty deal. And again, at the
Yes.
time, people were like, oh, you might be overpaying for OG Anunoby. Well, who says he's overpaid now? Nigga was damn near the finals MVP before game 5, possibly. Hey, you gave up too much draft capital to get Mikal Bridges. Another swing. You hit a home run on because he won a championship. Hey, Julius Randle is, having some all NBA seasons over here. But you know what? There's an even better player that we can get in Karl-Anthony Towns. Let's make that move, right? And Karl-Anthony Towns, in some opinion, was getting maybe slightly overpaid, because I remember those conversations, because he was just coming off of the Western Conference Finals where he didn't look too good against the Dallas Mavericks, right? So all of these swings that they take, right, to bolster their team, their franchise, and they hit a home run on everything, and they won a championship. I am always in favor of swinging for the fences. I never look at that like, if it fails, that you failed. You just did your job, and maybe it didn't work out, like the Harden Houston years. I loved that they kept rotating. Hey, Dwight Howard's not working. Okay, let's get Chris Paul. Oh, Chris Paul doesn't work or is getting injured. Hey, let's swing for Russell Westbrook. Like it was a constant swing. You know, they didn't win anything, but I find that those years are a success, and the Knicks got the ultimate success with their risk assessment. So salute to them. Even upgrading from Tom Thibodeau to Mike Brown, right? Because Tom Thibodeau is having a lot of success. It's not like y'all are a bad team. Y'all are getting to the Eastern Conference Finals
Yeah.
every year. So yeah, going from good to great and not being content with the good. Salute to the front office of the New York Knicks.
Fantastic Knicks breakdown by Real Talk. I couldn't agree with more of those points. We have to remember the timing of these things. I got to be honest. I was always on the why are people hating on Jalen Brunson, because before he went to the Knicks, he played pretty well in the playoffs. He was able to get them wins without Luka, I think, versus the Jazz, and he played like a big role for them. And he was on a very good contract when they traded for him. I thought that was a great move by the Knicks. And then for Brunson to also take, I think the respect I want to put on him is like beyond being a smaller guard, for you to take $113 million pay cut for them to build the roster around you. It paid off. I'm pretty sure he's going to make all that money back, and not like he's going to be a king in New York. Like, I think the All-Star stuff, all those votes that haven't been there for next season, it's going to be up for Jalen Brunson. For sure.
Pablo Torres finna be on their ass now, though. Yeah. They finna hook Jalen up.
Under the table for sure.
As they should.
If
there's anybody that deserves some aspiration money, it's Jalen Brunson.
Yes. Agreed.
It's just so special to experience it, but also like to see the narrative be debunked. Not to say that now all small guards can. No, listen, small guards. Everybody's not going to be Jalen Brunson. GMs, Darius Acuff may be good. Chances are not going to be Jalen Brunson.
Anomaly.
But to see a lot of these narratives get debunked, to see him just produce when it mattered most, and never fall victim to being told you can't, you're not good enough, etc. And that it's really their whole team. Like when you think about it, their whole team is, at least especially their top two players. Nah, they're not good enough. Oh, Brunson can't be a number one on the champion. Oh, Cat can't be this. Blase, blase, blah. And now it's like, hey, Mike Brown, you're not good enough. You keep getting passed around, etc. So now this is a redemption story for some, and just a way to, not write back. I don't remember who said that, tell the haters we not writing back, but the New York Knicks have definitely showed how to, show and prove, as opposed to using your words to do the talking. Let your play do it.
Get good talent, Wes. Like I think we've seen through these past, I would say 3-4 years, get good talent. The Dallas Mavericks traded for Gafford, and that was a humongous momentum swing. They made a NBA Finals off that. The Knicks, they signed for Jalen Brunson. They see Cat there. They say, we'll take it. And they were able to win off that. Like, you have to strike while the iron is hot. And that, to me, is the part of the Spurs window that I find very, very interesting. Because remember, before this season, most of the sentiments were OKC's going to run the West by themselves all the way, and they lost. The same sentiments were being made about the Spurs before they made the finals. I think what I'm seeing is, based on the pace of play, based on the talent of players, based on especially this new CBA, you have to strike while the window is there. There's not time to waste with growth. And I'll be honest with you, real talk, I can hear the idea of giving the head coach time to grow. Like, I do hear all that, but I think this is a very important offseason for the Spurs because their cap goes down. Like this is year what 2 of the Fox contract, where like I think he'll be jumping from maybe 49 to what 50, 53 or something like that. Like his contract is gonna go up, but most of their bad contracts are off the book. So now you have to improve. You have to get yourself a real 4. You have to get Keldon Johnson to fuck off the team. He probably has to go. Ideally, if you can move, I would say De'Aaron Fox, he also has to go. But in my opinion, watching these games, and I can't wait until I do a rewatch of like the whole playoffs and shit like that. But Mitch, I didn't love his coaching job in most of these overall series. I didn't enjoy it versus OKC, and I especially didn't like it in the NBA Finals. Even in this last closeout game, the rotations, it's like, I don't know. Like, if there was a coach that was Mike Brown-esque out there, I would fire Mitch. I would. I don't think I trust him as a coach.
I'm not firing a second. I'm just not doing that.
Okay.
I actually liked what he did against OKC when it came to adjusting and playing SJ more one-on-one in some of the games. I wasn't mad that he started off guarding SJ like that, because it got to a point to where everybody started guarding SJ like that. The Lakers started off guarding SJ like that. And you wanted to test out some of OKC's shooting. And to OKC's credit, I mean, the role players deserve credit. They were knocking shots down, so they caused an adjustment. But, I mean, we're not going to act oblivious that all of the 2025 run, the thing about OKC was them niggas can't shoot. And it was a lot of the same niggas out there shoot. But, to their credit, they hit the shot. So you have to make an adjustment after that. And they did. And they won the series. So I'm not even, the thought of firing Miss Johnson isn't even crossing my mind right now. I'm saying to you.
I don't know, but I'll let Derek, so you can go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, like before I get on the Spurs, I do want to say, as far as the Knicks, if there's any vindication, it's like that depth really does matter. And what I really like about the Knicks team is that it really was like a best friends win the championship situation, because everyone was there to like pick up for the other one. When Josh Hart's shooting disappeared, OG stepped up, and like we were talking, like OG's now like star status, like all-star, full stop caliber player. Bro. Cat, during like the Tibbs tenure, more of an offensive player. Mike Brown comes in. I made the joke that he became super Sabonis, but to Cat's credit, not only was he a better passer, like did like the dirty work, defensively took the right steps.
Way better.
He wasn't getting bailed out just by OG and Mikal. Like, he himself made improvements. When Brunson goes cold, I mean, and even in the finals, he was shooting tour dates. Now he had to like just keep him afloat, and that's fine. But the team was there to bail him out. Again, OG, Mikal, everyone had a game of timely shots. Mikal had one, Jose had one, Shamet had one. So that's what's really nice. It's like, to Wes's point, a lot of these small guards, as 1A options will not win championships, because history shows us that's the case. But great teams can win championships. So it's just building just around your best players. And if you have good health, good chemistry, good coaching, that usually is enough to give you, like, definitely gives you a shot to win it all. And for the Knicks, that was enough. So I do want to give them the shout that it's a combination of all those factors. And not to take away from Brunson's greatness, because it is historic what he did. To the Spurs, I think it's the same thing of like, the Knicks' depth was just better. So this is the opportunity to add more pieces. And I think you're going to find some players that want to join the Spurs. They see like a championship horizon, obviously. I think it's fair to say they overachieved this year, but they should be a perennial contender as long as Wemby's healthy in here. So I think you're losing Harrison Barnes, you're losing Olynyk, who like never played anyway. Plumlee, McLaughlin, like now you got a bunch of roster spots that are going to be open. And I think there's going to be plenty of players that want the opportunity to fit into Johnson's rotation. And again, like, natural development also will be pretty nice. It's not linear, but I got to imagine Carter Bryant with an offseason looks a lot better. Stephon Castle in the lab working on a jumper and maybe not spamming D-cell. That's going to be great for him. Harper obviously is probably the most exciting player, just because like he hit a different stratosphere in the playoffs. Playing his best basketball during the playoffs is unheard of for 99% of rookies. So now he's super exciting. I think the Spurs are in a fantastic spot, even with the Fox contract. I do think there's simply no trading him next season. I just don't think a deal is going to materialize, and I think they're kind of okay with that. I think they still think there's a lot of good basketball in Fox left. I think the year after, when there's 3 years left, and the salary cap's going to look a little different, that's probably the time because they also have to pay Wemby after this season. So I feel like that's when the shakeup's going to happen. But I think they can rock out with Fox. Still a great regular season player. I'm not worried about that. Obviously, this playoffs, it's like disastrous for him, unfortunately. But I think the Spurs are in a fantastic spot next season.
Yeah, he was cooking until the great regular season thing. But nah, that's either way. Yeah, I think the Spurs. I'll put my hate to the side for a second. I do think they should just let cooler heads prevail. They need to take a page out of Aaron Rodgers' book, the RELAX, relax. That classic little presser he gave. And, I don't think their organization is like up in arms with the fans. I think there should be a bit of a woosah just across the entire fan base to know that, the second best player in this series was your rookie. I think that is amazing. I think that it's two ways to look at it. You could be glass half empty, but what's the point in that when now you know the pillars of your franchise, your guy who's going into his second year, your guy who's about to go into his fourth year, are your best players, and they're going to be there, granted, barring injury, for next 10 years at least, hopefully. The free agency is kind of dead. So unless they piss Harper off or piss Wemby off, you don't have to worry about them leaving your franchise because they're not going to request a trade,
Right.
especially with how much money they'll be able to be given. So knowing that the franchise, it's in their hands, I think you can breathe. I do think Fox is a bad basketball player. Bad is in mid, me being a little hyperbolic and exaggerating. I just think he's mid. I do think it is embarrassing that in 2030, that year, 29-30, he will be, as it stands right now, the fourth highest paid player in the NBA. I think that's really embarrassing. He's getting paid on Jason Tatum's level, on Devin Booker's level, on players of that ilk. And it's like even Devin Booker, he's nowhere near him as a basketball
It's a fire
player.
agent, though.
Nah, facts. Great agent or just dumb team, either or. Both could be true, right? Either way it goes. I think their biggest thing now is to have Mitch in the offseason develop a good enough rapport. Because I'm not sure if it was rapport or if it's just, hey, Fox has seniority, the contract, politics are a big part of how things go, but there needs to be an understanding that, look, they need to try to build a team where the roster has enough depth to, if it's not your night, you got to sit. And every guy has to understand and only sit to close the game. Fox, you can still go start games. You can still be the guy or the second guy, whatever. But down the stretch of these games, if Harper has it going, we're going to rock with Harper. And that should extend to Castle as well. Hey, Castle, if Fox has it going and Harper has it going and you don't, hey, Castle, you got to sit. It's tough because he's a young player and you want Castle to still develop and still, work on those things that you believe he can improve because I think his ceiling is still, or his future is still really bright. Despite how high his ceiling is offensively or anything like that, I think he's still someone who I would consider, if not a blue chip, a teal chip prospect, Like it's still right there, and I think there's a lot of juice to still get out of that orange. So from the non-hater in me, I think they should just breathe. Still have Carter Bryant. I think his ascension and the development he could have, the step forward he could take next year, could be their answer at like having another wing 3/4-ish type of player. But I agree with Derek. They do need to get a 4. I think they should take some of the money that they have this offseason to give this point and just shore up more size. It's kind of like OKC. I don't care how great a defender your center is and how big they are per se. Your team needs size. You can't just keep closing games with 4 guards. Eventually it's too taxing on that last line of defense. And we saw it happen to the Spurs at times, even though they had other issues. And if they were able to like overcome some of the immaturity in the way they play basketball and just the way they think the game, I think they could have extended the series. But for sure, not taxing Wemby to the point where, I've got to really just man everything in the paint on both sides of the court. I think it could help. So a lot of things to still smile about if you're a Spurs fan, in my opinion.
And see, this is why we love Wes, right? Like, he gives you the positive Zen mindset. I'm gonna be a hater. Fox fucking sucks. There's no other way for me to say it. Dylan Harper at 19 outplayed you for most of the postseason. I hear the injury stuff. The bottom line is,
or you just that's not actually like you hear it.
What? No. I actually do hear it, but his play style.
You played on a high ankle sprain?
Yeah, I have actually. Not a fun time. Yeah, but independent of that, you being on a high ankle sprain and making the decision to go in transition against OG Anunoby and not pulling the ball out is an IQ thing. I also think he's just not a very smart IQ basketball player.
He does need to raise his basketball IQ. I would definitely agree with that. I think this Fox is a bad basketball player thing. Gimmick, though, is.
I don't think he was a gimmick at all in this finals.
It's a gimmick. Fox is not a bad basketball player.
He was good in this finals?
No, he had a bad playoff run. Doesn't make you a bad basketball player.
You meet in the middle on
he's
mid.
Not a bad basketball player. That's
We
ridiculous.
meet in the middle on mid.
I'm okay with mid. I'm saying he played bad.
He's not mid. He's a good basketball player.
No. You lost me.
I actually want him to leave San Antonio, like dead ass.
Boy.
I don't.
Oh, they would love that too.
You know what I did here? The Spurs are actually saved. They don't have to trade him. NBA expansion. They just don't have to protect Fox. And then he gets to go to Seattle
expansion.
or Vegas.
I need to peep that.
There
you go.
I need to peep that.
Yeah. Happen.
Yes.
We'll get into that because I think they would. That's a great out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
it's an amazing out.
Yeah. I want to really harp in on Harper because again, like the reason why Harper was productive in this series is he is by far for me now one of the best 2-point shot makers in the NBA because he consistently touched paint. He had plays where he pushed OG Anunoby out of the way. And granted, it wasn't all rainbows for him. Like, he definitely has flaws and things he has to improve on, absolutely. I'm not saying he's completely infallible as a player, but the potential is absolutely there. I just feel like in terms of being able to touch the paint, he was able to do that better than even at times Stephon Castle, who I think Castle is going to be really good as well. Like, they're very, very young. So I definitely don't want to say like everything is on, I would say DEFCON red and whatnot. And there's some bigger nuances we have to get to, I would say, with this team. But I would say if the notion is we paid Fox all this money to close out games, and while he's on our roster, he's going to do that, and there's no other way we want to play, I think you're limiting your team in terms of being a winner. Because I feel like you saw from the Knicks, like, they had multiple players take on different roles at times when they needed to. Like, you have to have a sense of, like, flexibility on some of those aspects, especially if Fox is injured and just isn't playing well. Like, it's very predictable basketball to me.
Yeah, that's why
I mean,
I'm
I
not worried about the
oh,
future
go
for
ahead, go
that.
ahead.
Like to defend like the situation again going into next season, I think it's a different story. Like having this playoff run under everyone's belt, including Mitch Johnson and the assistants that are staying. I think they can understand like, okay, we can trust our offense a little bit more moving forward. We can trust other guys to make decisions. This was Castle's like first real season, like ball dominant guard on a good offense. Like the year before wasn't really a good offense. Now it's like, okay, now we have expectations. We're running sets. We have guys that we actually trust to take and make shots. I mean, I think the Harper comment was a little bit hyperbole, or a lot of bit, but he showed like a lot of great promise. And I feel like that's what's good about moving forward is you have Harper, Fox, and especially Castle, who I think can really play three positions. The taking turns with the ball thing is going to be the biggest challenge because you could have elite offense for years to come if you can figure out those three guys or at least two on the court at the same time, uh, how to make that work. But I expect it to work out. And again, like I don't Fox can be a mid player, especially if you're factoring in salary. I get that. I'm trying to remove that for a second because just because your agent is from Clutch doesn't mean you're, a bad like a worse basketball player because you're getting more money than you should. Uh, but in the playoffs, it was just again like rough run, horrific finals. That doesn't like change completely who you are as far as a regular season player, especially on a better ankle. Fox will be better. It's just a matter of like Harper's minutes, going up, which I don't think that's going to hinder his development going into next season. So this team is like far better off than I think people are reacting to. Again, like they're two pieces away from top 3 roster in the league next season.
I mean, I'm not mad at that take whatsoever because they do have a very solid like six right now, starting five and
Yeah.
Dylan. But I've been saying all year as somebody like they need to move on from Fox because I don't think that's the situation for either of the parties. The Spurs need a real shot maker at one of the guard spots. All three of the guards wouldn't be considered real shot makers. That's why I brought up Kyrie Irving the last time we were here. Kyrie Irving is a shooter. He's one of the greatest shooters of all time. And so if you want to have three guards playing together, yes, the dribble drive penetration is cool and all, but that would also need real shot making it to end these sequences once you capitalize on the driving, right? You get a paint touch that is going to result in some swing activity. And so if we just end up swinging to Stephon Castle, I mean, the defense is going to live with that. Defenses are going to live with Fox wide open shooting spot threes. Defenses are going to short close out to Dylan Harper to see if he's going to hit. Like they need a real shot making guard. Fox is not that. He's never been that ever throughout his entire career. He's not a standstill shot maker. So I don't I think it would be best for both parties because I don't think either one is what the other needs right now. And even to Wes's point, like in the regular season, Fox was being very passive, in my opinion, letting Stephon Castle man a lot of the offense this year. Like if you watch the Spurs this year, even Derek just said it. Stephon Castle was a ball dominant guard this year. De'Aaron Fox spent a lot of time off the basketball. That's not De'Aaron Fox's game.
I think a big part of that though is that he began the season hurt, so he kind of just had to roll onto a team that was
That's also
already
true.
rolling.
They got it going, and so I guess
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I don't want to step on anybody's toes or whatever the case may be." But that's
Yeah.
just not who he is as a basketball player.
And that my last point on that to the got hurt, I think that's the most concerning thing for them is like, yo, Fox, it's not that he's old or the fact that I think he's a mid player. It's that he appears to be breaking down. He just
That I
does.
can
Yeah.
somewhat agree with.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
And if that's the case and it's anything, it's lower extremity, the wrist, I do think the wrist was more of a fluke,
Okay.
but you can see how it affected his game. And ultimately, like he's not the same athlete that he was. Now everybody can. It's hard to be what you were at your peak. Like athletically, you're
Yeah.
never going to do that forever. But when it affects your game the way it appears to have affected his game, again, the high ankle sprain, I'm, you know, aware of it. So we'll see how he adjusts on a fully healthy lower body. But if any indication, because the past 3 seasons, his rim attempts have gone down. If that's any indication of something to come, I do think they have to be out of the Fox business.
And that's kind of like
Because
my point of Fox too, Wes. Like I understand the injury he took on, but objectively, if you go back to maybe 2023 De'Aaron Fox, which is a while ago to be fair, the play style from Fox, because even in that season, he took more steps in terms of trying to become more of a shot maker. Like he's not consistently getting to the paint. And I feel like on a Wemby team, you need a guard that can consistently get to the paint and make shots. That's why Kyrie to me is a perfect fit. But I don't think they're going to be able to trade Fox without attaching assets to it. So I don't know how realistic it is to go get Kyrie. I don't know. I'm a little.
That's why I kind of disagree
him.
with he can get to the paint. I think he does get to the paint. I don't think he gets all the way to the rim like he used to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those little short mid-range shots, that in 23 was his bread and butter. Like that that was the shit he was hitting. That's why he won Clutch Player of the Year, because he could always get to that. And even now I still see that ability. Is he as quick and fast as he used to be? Maybe not, but to me he is still quick, enough juices there to beat people off the dribble and to get to spots.
Moments.
I agree with that.
And I think he was missing those. Those are the shots that Fox misses that frustrate me as a Fox fan. The little pull-ups around the free throw line areas, or the little 2 feet in the paint, little short floats. Like he was shooting like over 2023, like 50% on those shots. And that, again, that's what led to him being able to close games repeatedly, because he can get to those looks repeatedly and knock them down. But he just had a tough shot making.
In his game. He has some breath in his game.
They need a real screener. I mean, that's the way you can remedy this for all your guards.
Yeah, that's also true.
And that takes us to a whole other combo.
Wemby, not a great screen setter right now, might not ever be, but also like just to save him, like you don't want him setting like 25, 30 screens a game. So you need someone that can bigger body that can handle that. Shout out to Champagny for trying too. Like guard to guard stuff is nice, and you got a pick and pop game, but he's not a big enough frame either. So that would help Fox. That would help certainly Harper, even though like I do think his way too much muscle for like a 20-year-old. Like I don't know how he was able to bully basically everybody on the Knicks, but he was completely fine. But I think Castle was also uncomfortable because a big thing for him, that first step is coming because he can turn his shoulder, and he's not able to turn his shoulder on Wemby screens. So
yeah, I
think that would be a huge fix for all their guards, is having somebody that can be a 4-man that can just set like a big boy screen every once in a while. And same thing, like I think this guard collection next season is perfectly fine, is actually quite good, especially if Harper is able to do anything on the outside and develop that. It's just about playing the games. I think Kyrie is like, unfortunately, a bit of a risk for me, especially if I'm the Spurs, just because coming off the torn ACL, like I trust the jump shot to be fine. I don't think that disappears, but unless I'm including Fox in the deal and I don't have to give up crazy assets, I don't know. Like, I think you can rock out with Fox for one more year, and then if expansion saves you, great. If not, I think you can offload and give up lesser assets to fix that. But get another, like, 2-guard that can, actually space the floor when Vassell's not playing, because Vassell was, like, kind of your only supremely consistent shooter. And even that wasn't that consistent. Replacing Keldon because his job is obsolete on this roster, and getting a real 4. I think if you get that, you're cool. And then Carter Bryant basically does like Harrison Barnes things as far as like your 3-man next season. I think you're good. I think that's a legit 9-man, possibly 10. Again, Luke Cornett also fine backup 5, but you need athleticism next to him and a little bit of size, because he should just be boxing people out not grabbing boards. He can't do both.
Yeah.
We saw that this series for sure. So I think you can be fine. A 2, a 4, and get rid of Keldon, and you're cool.
Well, since we're clearly transitioning to the other part of the Spurs we haven't gotten to yet, I'm going to read a couple of connected super chats on this. Shout out to Alan R for becoming a member of the channel. Tap in. He said, if Rob Pelican doesn't build a contender next year, we are finding him and breaking both of them legs. Okay, Luka fan. Also, this best in the world combo is wide open. So that's one part. The second super chat, Wimpy, Victim Wembanyama, the Earthling. Skip still got it. Yeah, let's talk about Victor, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. The screening is an issue for you to not be able to really create potent screens. I think he can improve at it. I don't know the ceiling of it. This kind of goes back to our conversation, Derek, a couple weeks ago. Like, I generally feel like if the Spurs have the cap space, I will try to go get iHeart. I just think having another bigger presence who can pass and actually set hard screens and rebound wouldn't be bad. I think the shooting from Victor can take another step. I'm going to be honest with you. The number one thing that irritated me about Victor in these playoffs are the amount of possessions where he tries to directly finish the lob on the first attempt. He doesn't like catch the ball, come down and go to another action. He just tries to finish. And sometimes it made sense, but there are other moments, especially in game 4, where he's 8 for 23 and 5 or 6 of the missed shots are just him going for the first lob, not getting it, coming down, getting the rebound, break. Like, I think the touch around the basket could be a little bit better for Wember, but I just feel like those are areas he has to improve at. I think not having a clear offensive go-to hurt him a lot in these playoffs overall. I do think that's the thing. I think the defense is still very, very manageable. And I do want to say this, like, a lot of people keep saying the Spurs are going to be fine. Losing your top defensive coordinator to the Magic is going to hurt. I'm not sure, like, how much worse their defense is going to get, but he was a big part of everything their defense did. So I don't think it's just all rainbows and fine. I definitely think getting size next to Wemby should be the main overall priority for this offseason. I would go after Howard if I could, but if not, find a 4 that can fit in that role.
I don't think losing the defensive coordinator is going to be a big deal. They're a personnel defense, not a schematic one. Meaning, like, to me, the Knicks more so are teeter towards, when you look at like top 10 defenses in the league and then you see like a name that kind of doesn't fit sometimes because, you know, their personnel, those are schematic defenses. The Lakers are really good at that from time to time. Shout out JJ Redick, right? But like the Spurs are a great defense because their personnel says so. Stephon Castle's a damn good defensive player. Dylan Harper's a damn good defensive player. Wemby's the best defensive player in the league. So they'll be fine. In fact, the defensive coordinator needs to be fired because the fact that Wemby was guarding Karl Anthony Towns while Josh Hart was out there, there's a fireable offense anyway. So he needs to go. Shout out to him getting the Magic job. I don't see their defense missing him not one bit come next year.
I disagree completely with that. I think there were so many plays where like you saw the personnel just fucking up. Like, why are we hard closing out on Josh Hart when we see Landry Shamet one pass away in the corner? Why are we having Wemby go from cross court to go guard and leaving OG in the corner? Like, that to me is also
Maybe
just
that was the defensive team that the defensive
I was going to say, we talked about this.
Together.
We talked
didn't
about
love some of those
this.
things.
These are scheme issues. I agree with Real Talk in the sense that the only thing the coordinator really has to do, again, when they're healthy, because like if Wemby doesn't play, obviously different defense. But like the main thing is just keeping the activity level, the engagement. Like as long as Castle, Harper, Vassell are still buying in, not mailing it in defensively, then you're good. Because you have multiple POAs that at least will try. Castle's just a flat out great defender. So you're good there. Wemby, we know what he is defensively. Everybody else has to just buy in, care, and talk, and you're guaranteed top 10 defense every season.
I think Dylan Harper really impressed me on the end, by the way. He showed some
all the more reason you're fine.
Right.
Like again, you still need like competency from a defensive coordinator / like assistant coach, but You just need buy-in with this crew. And again, if you add like a decent 4, a physical 4, and a 2 that like just isn't a cone, you're fine. Like 10, like 1 through 10, you're fine. Carter Bryant also is coming off your bench, who discipline is going to get better, IQ is going to improve. If he
gotta
keeps the
play
same
more.
athletic chops, again, you have another very good defender who could very well be great even next season, like on your team. So I'm not worried about losing that. If anything, the only thing that defense needs to add is probably a couple more zone reads, like because they have the wingspan to bother every team if they go into zone more often. But yeah, they're good. Like they're fine. I like losing defensive coordinator only matters for the first 25 games because you need to get used to the adjustment. After that, your team will just go on instinct again.
Okay. I think Wes wants to now dip into the hater back a little bit. So go ahead, Wes.
I mean, I already did, man. Like, yeah, I'm ecstatic that they lost. Like, their funeral is something that I attended. Trust, I was there.
RSVP.
I was very, very, very excited. I even had my son down by then, so I was free to just fully embrace the Spurs dying. But season's over now, and we weren't the ones who put that final nail in the coffin. So it's bittersweet, like my goal now, and the only thing that I'm looking forward to next year is hopefully entering next season with the Axel Lindenborg on my roster,
Chill.
and seeing the rich get richer, so that the next time we face them, whether we're injured or not, we could be what the Knicks were this year to them next year. But yeah, nah, like I'm glad they lost. I don't like them. I'm not a fan of anybody on their team for real. The Harper
Damn.
kid can play, but yeah, I don't like anybody over there. So this is perfect for me, um, and I'm excited about the rivalry. That we should have moving forward. Hopefully, we can make it a little less than a rivalry. Like if we could 4-1 them next year, you know, it'd be great. If
Still
we could get
burned
Denver
into
to actually be
numbers, huh?
men, if Denver could turn into men, if Jokic could turn into
A
the
defender.
best in the world level caliber player again, if he could regain some of the things that he's lost, then maybe we wouldn't even have to handle these niggas, man. Somebody could do our dirty work for us. But as
Hmm.
as it pertains to
Now
the
you ducking
Spurs, like,
smoke.
Yeah.
I had a very no. It's not ducking the smoke. What it really is saying if these other teams that I think could compete with them are playing up to snuff, they may not even get to where we're gonna be. We know we'll be in the Western Conference
That is
Finals.
a Chet Holmgren
It's
train of
more
thought,
so
Wes.
about them.
We got to be better than that.
No.
Mm.
I'm fine. Like, Chet's final series this year ended more efficient than Wemby's final series this year. So
But when you only shoot 4
it's
times,
always a silver lining in something,
Well, he
man.
take 4 shots a game.
It
Cool.
is
Yeah.
All right.
always a reason to smile.
I might go 2 of 4 myself, Couple open
Nah,
jumpers. I mean, I
man.
got a chance. Like,
No funny, man. No funny. It's super easy to have 50% when you take 2 shots.
there you go.
But either way it goes, yeah. I'm eager to see what next year holds for the Thunder.
Oh yeah.
And Spurs, we'll see when we see you type, time I'm on. But I'm vindicated. I feel vindicated. I told people that they weren't as good as they thought they were. They had so many guys on their bandwagon and gals. Wasn't just a guy
Yeah.
thing. There were men, there were women who couldn't wait to lift up Wemby as if he needed any help to get taller or be higher in the air. Like, needed to be knocked down a peg. And I'm glad the Knicks were able to do that for the basketball world. And to the rest of the guys, like I said, I said it going into our series. I'm not worried about Castle. I'm not worried about Fox. They're not issues. Harper, He's a good player, but he's young, so I think we'll be able to contain him. And unfortunately, one of our better defenders, you know, he died. AJ, he died. So things didn't go the way we
Not
wanted.
J-Dub?
No, I said both. I said he died,
Oh,
and
I
then I
just heard
said
AJ.
AJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, like it happens, But I'm glad they lost, and we'll keep it there because they still beat us. Gotta have some
Yeah, do
level of
remember that.
Yeah, they still did beat you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
got rid of y'all. So
Right.
Beat an injured team, but they won.
I
Nonetheless.
mean, that's what
Y'all
y'all
say y'all
did
bet
in
without
the
Jada.
championship. Y'all still run around with that ring like y'all did something. Y'all know we had snapped Achilles away from the East 3 team, right? But that's another conversation for another day.
That's a hot
Look,
one. Hey,
Look,
we don't know.
all I'm saying is, I'm
Okay.
just saying, I'm happy to see OKC about to, all right, y'all got to start giving up some of these players, huh? Is iHeart going or Caruso or?
I heard some of the club
Lou
owners said they got to
Dort,
choose. Dort is
iHeart
gone.
will probably resign iHeart. Lou Dort will probably be the odd man out, along with maybe Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. I think we retain everybody else. I think
Okay.
the issue now is.
Did you see Case and Wallace's comments? How you felt about those?
Which specific comments?
About the
He
role?
said he really enjoyed when he had a bigger role in the team and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
those-
where's his bigger role when Shea, J-Dub, and AJ are out there?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think he can get his bigger role with Dort being gone, him inserted into the starting lineup, and now the
To
11
do the
shot
same shit?
some nights. It's not about. I don't think he was saying bigger role is in terms of because his role when it was bigger, it wasn't more on ball reps in a grand scheme.
It
of
was,
things.
though. That's what he referenced. He said, I enjoyed my bigger role.
He said
when
more so on
people
ball.
like Shea. He said when Shea wasn't in the game and stuff, I got to be on the ball.
It was never to the degree that it'll be something we can't replicate, is what I'm saying. I
Okay.
think that's something we can replicate when he's in the starting lineup because it won't be like he's on ball every time, but he will be able to rock and taking the spot of Lou Dort and having AJ still come off the bench because that's the reality. AJ will still be a bench player next year. Kaysen will be the starter. Dort should be gone, and that should be the big role. If Sam has a different vision for the team or if he has a different vision for himself, if that's not good enough, then, we'll sit and we'll test his value. I think he's a very valuable asset, and I think he could maybe find greener pastures on the market, and we could get something very valuable for him. So I don't want to lose him, and I think that we could find what we need just by, hey, getting Dort out the way. And like some of those other players, like I said, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, if they're gone and the replacement, because for me, it should be a big man, like a forward, not like a center. So
Yeah.
if it's Axel, it's like, yo, some of that extra
W.
ball
Perry.
handling that we were getting from any random player on the night, now Kaysen could be in that spot. And now instead of it being like a three-headed snake, we could go to 4 and have Kaysen be the 4th in that pecking order, but him get some like that. So that's my
Kaysen's gone. He's a young player. He's already won his championship. So it's not like he has to stick around for that.
Where's he going? Where's he going? Real
Role,
talk.
and he wants
Where's he
some
going? Real
more
talk.
money. That I don't know. But somebody's going to be offering him more money than I think OKC wants to pay him. That's number one. And number two,
See, frigid.
he wants himself a bigger role.
No, he's
Yeah,
not.
I could.
Is he
I agree
RFA?
with you on a bigger role. I agree that he wants a bigger role, and
no,
I
I
can
think
see
so.
him looking for a
Okay.
different home. But I don't think a team will. No team is gonna pay him over 30, bruh. I don't. I'm not even sure if a team will get to 30. Maybe a team goes to 30 though, but I don't think a team goes beyond 30. And I think we're willing to give him 25.
So next year, just to be, next year is his last year on his contract.
Yeah.
Just-
And after that, he becomes our RFA. Yeah.
So they could start negotiating now.
I'll be smart.
That cracks me up. Hey, Kaysen, we got you this fresh new spot. It's the cubicle right next to where you were sitting.
Right.
You're closer to the trash can, buddy. Moving on up.
Oh man,
That job
Progress,
is not
man,
changing.
progress.
I like the yarn that Wes spun right there, but yeah, Presti's vision is gonna be Kaysen does the exact same job that he did this year. I mean, maybe he gets a couple more shots because Dort should be gone, but yeah, man. I mean, keep vibing with this. If I was Presti, I would definitely try to pitch on you will replace Caruso in like a year and a half. That's probably what I would tell him. Is
Yeah.
that you can just have Caruso's full-time job, which I'm sure they would love to do. I don't think that is going to happen, unfortunately. I think they're going to have Caruso for one more great year, one more subpar year, and then Wallace will be gone because I think they will probably pick AJ long-term over Wallace and probably have his replacement in the draft in 2 years' time. And I do think Wallace moves on to like a better spot because, I mean, I think he will probably earn it by then. But yeah, I mean, OKC will be fine. Like it's disgusting how like they're moving off of two good NBA players and like they really won't feel it. Like Dort, you'll miss his defense for about 5 minutes, but if J-Dub's healthy, big if, but if he's healthy, you're fine. And then Aaron Wiggins wasn't playing. Like that's just like an actual rotation player for 28 teams. It was not playing for you. So you sadly won't miss him. Hell, I'll take him. If he's sitting there doing nothing, I'll pay him for his services. But yeah, OKC will be completely fine next season and will be, you know, the presumed favorite once again.
he's a Laker, Derek, unfortunately, but we do appreciate.
You're getting Tim Hardaway Jr., man. I hope you know that.
Who are y'all sending us? Because he's under.
You're getting Tim Hardaway Jr.
So what's the trade? Because he's under contract. What are y'all gonna send us?
What, Wallace? Or what are you talking about?
No, I thought he was saying
Talking about
Wiggins
real
is
talk.
For Wiggins,
Oh,
I thought he was saying Wiggins.
we have guys that fit y'all's DNA.
Guys.
Let's see. Veteran,
He gonna say Vando.
Marcus
He gonna try to
Smart,
pull
or
Vando.
He gonna try to
a
throw
great
Vando in there
wing
for sure.
defender and Jared Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying?
There-
Different guys match y'all's personnel, right?
You know what I'm saying?
And
Hustle,
your
effort.
basketball makeup, right? Defense first. You know what I'm saying? Vando
yeah.
can come over there.
DNA.
Also,
Yeah,
hey, y'all,
yeah.
you said y'all lack a little bit of size. Guess what Vando is? 6'10". Guess what Vando does? Rebound. I'm just saying. But I'll talk to y'all later, man. I do have to bounce.
Yeah, he
talk to
does
y'all
gotta
later.
go.
true. Word.
Yeah.
Catch you, man.
Overall, salute to Real Talk. Make sure to tap because he had to bounce. I'm pretty sure if he had any more time, he would have tried to also pitch us on Bronny James as the
Absolutely.
trade piece
I thought
as
for
well.
Sure that's where we were going.
I thought I was coming for sure. I'm gonna say this too, man. Moving on to the next season, we gotta address the draft. That shit is real. Like it went through West. So not like I feel like we're not doing this enough. The NBA as we know it is forever different now. Cause now you don't want to do trades with ass teams anymore, West, because if you're doing trades with a team that could be a bottom 3 team, they will have worse odds than a uniform team, which is insane. So now that means every first round pick is even more valuable now because literally anyone could get a number 1 pick now. That's different now.
Yeah. I do worry about like just teams like I'm very excited for this offseason, or I was. And I still am. Like the excitement hasn't all faded. But with the new rules, because do they go in place this offseason? Right?
Yeah, so this upcoming season, it'll be in, which means the next draft this upcoming season will have it in place.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like this offseason, it's like I'm kind of concerned on like, will teams be as willy-nilly like, let's be loose. Hey, this first round pick here.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, you get a pick. New Orleans, you get a pick. Whatever, because I would love to see Zion end up in Charlotte. I would love to see Giannis just on the move wherever. I would love to see the Timberwolves make a move for like Kyrie. I know y'all brought up the Spurs. I have the Wolves.
And that too.
Kyrie. So there are a lot of players that I want to see move. I want to see the Golden State Warriors potentially do something. If there's something to be done, so yeah, man, it'll be interesting, but I'm excited for when we could get the new teams. Like
Yeah.
we that's the thing. We need expansion.
Mm.
Not from a it has to happen standpoint, but I think for some of the things that they're trying out to really start making sense and just to see some of these teams be put in like really precarious positions,
Yeah.
we got to see that expansion hit. So that's what I'm excited for the most.
Mm.
Okay. So here's my thing, right? There's been a lot of trades that's going around. I think Wes brings up a very important point about how teams are going to respond to the reality we're now in terms of, are they going to be more pick a verse or not? For me personally, Wes, I think picks are more valuable now, which means the mindset that you had in terms of, if you can just say, here's a first round pick, here's 3 first round picks, like what you're going to do with that really, really varies. To me, the top of the top teams are going to make those swings if it's worth it. Giannis is going to have first round picks involved, no doubt. And it looks like he might finally be on the move again. Now, I'm going to be so honest about this shit, I swear to God. If we go through this entire offseason just to hear breaking, Giannis signs world-breaking contract extension with the Milwaukee Bucks, 4-year, like some crazy shit, I'm gonna get tight. Cause at this point, it's like you're literally at the door to be out, right? So like I'm expecting that to take place, and I'm assuming one of either the Heat or the Celtics are going to get Giannis. That's where I'm at with it right now. But the whole draft pick shit is crazy because, again, you're going to go through a harder time. Like, now, if you make a trade and, like, the team is mid, they can get a top 5 pick. So like, you got to be very sure if you're going to trade those picks. And I think I think the Wolves should take the swing on Kyrie because you need a guard. I don't know if the Wolves are going to be trying to trade Julius Randle. I don't know what value is there. I've heard of people trying to do a Fox and Randle swap. I don't really like that, me personally, but
brother. Oh,
Yeah, no. No, I at least I know what Fox is. I'm not doing that. I think the first round pick debacle is, if you're a team that has, let's take OKC out for a second since they got the biggest surplus. Sorry, Wes.
Yeah.
But a team that has multiple firsts that, are not their own. If you're trading that pick, now I feel like you're not as worried about what that could turn into. Kind of like what the Pacers did this year, trading that, the top 5 protection, or top 3 protection, whatever, and it, end up falling into 5th for the Clippers. And it's like, wow, the Pacers just lost. And it's like, well, they went in with the impression there was a good chance it was not going to work out for them retaining that pick. So, they knew what they were doing in that regard. I think teams will kind of do the same, where it's like, okay, if it bounces in favor for the other team as far as okay, they went from 14 odds, they got the 7th pick. It's like, okay, now their GM looks better because it didn't bite him, but we don't necessarily look worse if we're getting the return we want. So right. I think they can't. You're not going to get super cautious with trading first, or any more cautious than you already are. So I think it kind of just saves GMs a little bit as far as the spotlight's concerned, because if you trade for a player like Giannis and you gave up 3 firsts, but instead of one of those firsts being really, really good, it ends up being 2. It's like, okay, but you did it for Giannis. So as long as he plays basketball, that's not going to look bad for them. And then for the other GM, now it just looks better because now you look like a genius because, you got more out of it. So I don't really see it affecting a lot of teams that way. First round capital, still first round capital.
Whew. I think in a lot of these trades, what you try to do as a GM is you try to project, okay, I'm doing a trade with this team. We're going to give them our picks. We're assuming we get a player like Giannis, we're going to be good. So the value of that pick goes down. I'm just saying that mindset is dead now. Because now it's no. Even if that team is a mediocre team, they have even odds to still get a high pick. So now it's like, you can't really trade with, okay, I'm going to assume their picks are going to be good because we don't know anymore. Because now it's flat for everybody else. The only thing we're sure about is if you're like one of the worst teams, your picks are less valuable. That's all we know now, which I feel kind of iffy on. I don't love at all this new draft system, but in terms of trades, it should make things a bit more intriguing at the very least. I predict, Wes, that because of the new CBA and the cap floor that we have, where you have to reach 95% of the cap floor before the year begins, the tanking we see teams do isn't going to begin until the end of the season because they'll have some type of incentive to drop out the play-in. You'll see tanking happen then. I think at the beginning of the season, that incentive is now kind of gone.
Yeah, I can see that. And that's an interesting thing too, because it's all just gonna be interesting to see it unfold. I'll say.
Yeah.
I leave my I'll leave all of my trepidation inward and not projected outward. And yeah, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but yeah, I will say I'm not sure that this really solves anything. It just creates another another way for teams to posture
Right.
and now just start, positioning in a different manner. But it'll be interesting to see how it affects the market, if at all, when it's time to talk trades. If teams, and to your point, I do think contenders, like, this shouldn't stand in between you making a deal for Giannis.
Right.
Because the teams that are looking to make a deal for that caliber of player, and the teams that he's willing to go to, it's just a perfect match. It's a marriage. Like, it's not gonna be a situation where the Kings are like, oh well, we want you, and Giannis is like, oh well, I want you too. Like, nah, it won't be that type of situation. So it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. But uh, I hope that things get cooking soon. Today, everybody's available. Everyone, as
Yes.
everybody can be on the move. So it would be nice. And the draft is the following week, right? Not this upcoming week, but the week after.
I believe it begins June 23rd.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it's
yeah,
late
yeah.
June.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should have fun here. We should have some fireworks this upcoming week. So, chat, stay tuned. Like, the Bucks are very motivated per se.
So is
get
Boston.
for draft night.
Demon Brad Stevens, man.
I'm glad you ushered that in. I don't know what your next topic was, but if we
Yeah.
have a second, what third team do you think should get involved to acquire JB?
Oh, this is easy.
Aside from, like, the Atlanta go home thing, like what if you are a team, like you're GM for every 30, all 29 or 28 teams, the other 28 who aren't involved in this deal, which team sticks out to you the most that you say, hey, I want to be the GM of that squad and go acquire Jaylen Brown?
So that's a great question. In terms of the teams that's going to be involved, to me, I think this is a 3-team deal. I think it's going to be the Bucks. I think it's going to be Boston. I think it's going to be Portland. And I bring up Portland because the important part that we cannot forget about, Portland has the Bucks picks, so they need that. More importantly, Jaylen Brown is trying to be on a team where, like, he can be like the lead, I think, scorer. Portland's a very young team. Dame is going to be back next year. My only question is, like, I don't know how the Dame Denny experience is going to be, or if Portland should even want to see that through. But I think Jaylen Brown would probably be rerouted to Portland over the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to get their picks back and maybe a young player back. I can see Denny going to the Bucks and that being like their way. So those are the 3 teams I would see. Minnesota, I think they don't want in the deal anymore. I think the Heat are in their own solo deal, but That's the 3 teams I see actually being like the real trade partners, in my opinion.
Why move off of Denny?
I wouldn't move off Denny either, but you have Dame. Well, I'm just thinking about this in
I
my
don't
head.
care. Dame being here, he is retirement home buckets. Buddy, you're here for vibe,
I like that.
legacy, and
Yeah.
convenience. Whatever you give us next year, cool. Well, I do not care. Scoot Henderson might actually be an NBA player. Congratulations. He's going to be getting reps.
He might get moved.
You get to play D'Angelo Russell hoops. It's the he should not. Scoot should not get moved.
Yeah,
Dame gets to be D'Lo. You get to be free, man. You get to be a shooter with decent passing, and we don't believe you. Like, we know you can't play defense, so you don't have to play defense. It's cool. I think if you're trading for JB,
Mm-hmm.
and if like now, granted, I don't know how much money the Bucks have to take on for this to work, and I don't know how it works for Portland. Sadly, Portland's also going to be like, maybe they will move Denny because their owner's an absolute cheapskate.
Very
But
cheap.
like, that's an amazing team all of a sudden. Like, if you're telling me, I mean, I get it, Scoot's not that exciting, but like Scoot, JB, and Denny with Klingon, like presumably Drew's still there. Like, oh my God, like defensively, that's awesome. Like, and Jalen can score, Denny can score. Like that's cool. I'd be way excited. I don't know how that money works, but
yeah, because to piggyback off of that before you give your team, why not? And again, I know younger player,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got a Grant contract that can be moved in Milwaukee. You can't say no if you want your picks back.
Right.
And I've got a young Shaden Sharp. It's
There you
no
go.
way I'm moving Denny. No way I'm moving.
oh,
Denny.
facts. Yeah, get Shane.
Wait a
out of
minute. If
there.
you're Portland,
Shane's making good money
saying you should
too.
trade him?
Oh, get him out of there.
Yeah, if I'm
Yeah.
Portland, I'll 1000% move Shaden, and Grant. Like, it's no brain. If I have the opportunity, and depending on how many picks we have to give up, but if I have the opportunity to acquire Jalen,
Yeah.
and it is for the player package of Jeremy Grant
Mm-hmm.
and Shaden Sharp, I'm sorry, Grant, it's over. Like the best.
Yeah, that's
he can
fine.
do, that's already happened. And
Yeah, that's
Shaden, for as good as you could be one day, you can go be somebody else's problem or project in terms of building you up to be. I can get Jaylen Brown, and now I have Drew Holiday, and Jaylen Brown is POA. I've got Denny at the 4. I've got Klingon at the 5, and I got Dame at 1.
Yeah.
Oh, nah, I'm doing
Yeah.
that, especially with the knowing that I'll still have Tumani Kamara. I'll still have, because that's a player I would protect. As we start talking about players I wouldn't want to move, Tumani, I'm protecting. I'm trying to protect Denny, trying to protect Scoot. And now I have depth. I've got a real roster. And I think that's how you position yourself to actually do the unthinkable. We talk about how the Knicks just accomplished what they accomplished. That's the way to go do it if you're Portland. So, I'm protecting.
That team just got way more interesting.
I
fully agree with Wes. I didn't realize Shaden was making this much. He's making $20 million this season, 34 for Grant. That money lines up great. And the Bucks won't care. Like, Shaden at least is a project that he might be something, so that's cool. Grant, it's all right, we just got to put up with it for 2 years. But you're getting your picks back. You actually have a future. Sharp might actually be a home run anyway. Cool.
Right.
And then if you're Portland, oh my goodness. This is the irony, of course, is
that's why I said those are the 3 teams to me. Yeah.
That got way more interesting. That's legit 7-man for Portland. Bucks get to actually rebuild.
I'm just trying to figure out in my head, the way Dame Denny works. I guess what you can say is because Denny had to play off ball at the beginning, he should find ways to do that with Dame. I hate the collective defense of those 2 together on the floor, regardless of what good defenders you put next to him.
Sorry, Dame, obviously negative defender, and who?
And Denny. I think they're both
Denny's
not good
a
defenders.
Good defender. Denny's a good defender. What are we doing?
Denny's a great defender?
Good, not great.
He's solid. He's a solid defender.
Above average rebounder, fine on ball, good hands.
He can rebound.
Actually pretty decent off ball.
Denny's not good on defense to me.
Yes, he is. He got worse when the on-ball reps went up. But the point is, you got Klingon who actually knows how to play basketball now, who's going to cover.
If you can put Jalen Brown, bro, I'm sorry. Now,
yeah, JB is like at least a good defender.
I think Wes going.
He is.
No, I'm just saying for that.
Yeah.
That was be my team, and I'm still interested in seeing what Derek has to say. But the fact that you brought them up, that makes perfect sense. As long as they don't do anything stupid, like give away Denny for no reason.
Yeah, that's bizarre to me. Denny's on a fantastic contract. That's fine. I'm not claiming. If you don't want to say he's good, Denny's at least an average defender. If you can't follow me on good, he's at least average. That means you got average Denny. You've got, I'm gonna say, at least above average Drew. He's old now. Maybe he's not like good anymore, but he's at least above average. Tumani, at least good if not great. Klingon, good if not great.
And then Dame awful.
Scoot, yeah, well, but who cares? Dame and Scoot will be time sharing. The future is still Scoot. If I'm Portland and I'm acting like with common sense, Dame is 36. He is not the future, regardless if he's better.
I don't know how to feel about Henderson. Like maybe he's the future.
The end of the season, then Scoot was.
I did watch in the season.
The last
I watched
20
it.
games.
Right. Too bad there's other games before those final few games.
Chauncey was still employed. The gambler was like running the show. And
that's not
like
whoa.
He was absolutely.
That man Chauncey called the
neutering.
Rico early. Very relaxed. He called the Rico very early in the season.
Chauncey neutered
that's
Scoot's
incorrect.
development. It took Tiago Splitter to finally put Scoot in a position of success. Like that is the difference. That is multiple ball handlers. You still have Denny, Dame, and Scoot. You have JB, who doesn't have to do as much on-ball stuff, gets to just go be a bucket. This is a way funner team. That is a more fun team. 7 rotation players. And then, like, you might actually get some buy-in, like, from 2 free agents or something.
Or maybe 8, depending on whatever Rob has in his knees, if he has any juice.
I do think Rob is gone. I'm under the assumption he's gone.
I think he's getting flipped for something.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
I think someone's going to overpay Rob.
But how you feeling, Derek? What I know Portland is very tantalizing now, but
yeah, that just got me excited.
What's your team?
I don't know. I feel like Milwaukee might be petty a little bit as far as like not sending him to Boston.
Could be.
Because making Boston, Boston's already very good. Like making them probably the favorite out of the East with the addition of Giannis. They might not want to do that. I don't think the Heat package is something to just like blow off. I feel like it's actually decent. Khalil Ware could be a good player. I get it. He didn't really fit in with Spo, but Spo's not the easiest coach to work with. I think Ware wanted to play more offense. Spo told him, too bad, be a defensive guy, and he just didn't fit in. So there's a chance like greener pastures for Ware. Hero's a good offensive player. That's all he is, but he's still a good offensive player. Picks, and then who else am I missing? I feel like Pell Larson was in. That's cool. That's a rotation player. I feel like there's one name I'm missing. But I don't know. I think it really could be kind of like boring and be a 1-for-1. But I think so.
I don't think they want to trade Jaime.
It might have been Jaquez. Yeah, it might have been Jaquez.
Might have been Jaime though. I forget.
So,
but yeah.
So yeah, like you're getting 2 rotation players, a legit starter, and a project. Plus draft capital. I feel like that's pretty good if you're Milwaukee. Because I don't know. I don't know if they're going to go all in on rebuild. And as we just said, like the Miami picks might suddenly be a little more valuable. So I don't know. That I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. I just don't. I agree. Minnesota, I feel like it's just they're out. I think Minnesota now because they get flirted in with all these like potential trades because we desperately want someone to be like with Ant. But I don't think Giannis is there. I don't know. Like, I don't think there's anybody else in the West that's like has enough to give up to get him and still be good. That's the problem with these superstars.
I interest you in
your squad? No, I think your team is staying pat.
No.
He's not talking about OKC.
Can I interest you in the Denver Nuggets? Can I interest you in hey, Jamal and Jokic, we get the 2-man game. It's the best in the league. We have done all we're willing to do with this, Jokic is. It's not that he only has like 2 more years left or anything, but he has way less years behind him than he does in front of him. And hey, we just want to shake something up. How about potentially we're going to end? This is coming from we don't have a lot that we can do to make the team better.
Okay.
The players we want to move don't have value. The players we want to keep, we really can't keep. Peyton Watson. Maybe there's a situation where somehow they get involved with Boston and Milwaukee and say, hey, we have Jamal Murray, who the Bucks could take on and potentially flip. I think it'd be really hard to, find a fourth team, but maybe they could take him on.
I think you
for
need
half.
multiple teams if Denver's going to get on that, because I don't think Jamal is a intriguing enough asset to really make them do it. I think the only way they would even entertain any Denver deal is if they're getting their own picks back, which would mean Portland has to be involved, and that just makes it harder.
I just don't see Jamal and Jokic being broken up out of like just the convenience.
Yeah.
I think the money's too much to try and make it like. And also, I guess with the Giannis addition, obviously, I mean, that's a wild pairing. That'd be really fun to watch. But like, I think.
No, I was saying in the 3-teamer.
So wait, where does Giannis go?
Still getting Giannis.
Oh, gets him.
And
Yeah.
Denver getting Jalen.
Oh, okay.
That's-
Okay, that's actually completely different. Okay, no problem.
Yeah. I was saying Boston getting Giannis,
Mm.
Denver getting Jalen, Peyton Watson being on the move because they can't protect him, but also potentially getting another guard to Denver from the 3 teams. Initially, I thrown out Ron Harper Jr. I think that might be a little too low for Denver. Maybe they said it's not quite enough.
Are they able to get Derek White?
Getting in, I think Boston would say no.
That's probably too much you got to do at that point. Yeah.
I don't think Boston will move JB and D White.
That's a lot.
To Giannis, yeah. But this is a team I could see calling and seeing, is there a pathway to get it done? And if
I think Denver will try. Yeah.
But that's what I just think. Yeah, it may have run its course with Jamal and Jokic. Now, maybe to Derek's point, they never break it up, and they just keep trying to, move things around, just try to take different puzzle pieces and see what fits around them. But Jaylen Brown's a damn good player, bro. And I as the resident Jaylen Brown fan, I would love to see him with Jokic.
I think you're higher on Denver if they're able to keep Jamal and get Jimmy, but that's just not possible. Like my problem with this is, okay, Jamal to me doesn't have great value because of the injury stuff, his contract, and the age. Like all of those 3 things limit the massive returns you could get back. I also still think as variant as he can be, he's still a staple of the Jamal and Jokic overall 2-man game. So to me, if I'm getting off of that, I have to get a player that makes sense for me to do that with. And it would have to be a 3-teamer because they don't have the valuable like I don't think Jamal's enough. I think it has to be all your picks. And I don't know if Denver's doing that. Because it's like, damn.
I agree with you, though. I wouldn't extend too far into my treasure chest of picks if I'm Denver because again, that has been your identity for years. So now you have to build a whole new offense around, okay, Jokic, JB, and then trying to figure out which players fit around them, etc. So
now you have no assets to really get better and shit like that after the fact because you already had to also throw that And here's the big part that we have to bro, from now on, Wes, I'm thinking about this in every fake trade I do. Does the owner give a shit? Is the owner allowing you to go over the cap and do shit? Because if you're still trying to be under the cap, you can't really improve this Denver team to me. You got to be willing buyers is my thing.
Interesting. Okay. The only other team I had in mind was Detroit. And
Okay.
Yeah, I can see Detroit trying to get involved as a 3, but I think it would be very, very tough for 3 Eastern teams to
Yeah.
make it. I think Detroit. I think they will get in the business of, okay, we can't get Giannis, but we can get Jaylen Brown. Okay, sign us up. But
Right.
I think it just is it's very tough to see 3 teams within the same conference make a deal where every party is happy enough to actually pull the trigger on it. And I think Detroit, is Tobias Harris, Ron Holland, another piece to make the money work, and 2
Well, I think
firsts.
Tobias is a free agent. So I
Tobias
think,
is a free agent this
yeah,
year?
yeah. So they'll have Ron to
Yeah, they gotta
move, but
decide if they want to bring him
I
back or
think
not. Yeah,
Tobias is early bird
Well, yeah, it
rights.
may be impossible because
and they got
they
to
would
pay
have to
Jalen
do a
Duren.
signing trade with Duren, and I just don't see them
I don't know
doing
if
that.
that's gonna happen.
They don't have the
I won't.
contract.
They'll try to. Well, actually, I guess they can't lowball Duren anymore with the All NBA thing. They got hoed for that.
Now you can.
I mean, but
You can.
he's entered a different tax bracket, like as far as
Right.
what you could have offered him before.
Well, yeah,
Whereas now he's
but
got
like,
that All NBA thing.
well, yeah, but I'm saying like you can still say you are a restricted free agent. We're offering you this. If a team goes by it, we'll have to match it, but we're not going to offer you the best right now. Like,
I mean,
you
it's not the
can do
best,
that.
but you're still paying him. You're still paying him like 30, 35 a year.
That's probably what it's going to have to be. Yeah.
I think because a team will gladly pay that. I think a team
I
will
think
be
they'll match
hesitant to
Duren
40,
regardless.
but I
Yeah.
think and I don't think you just can't let him walk
No.
because he's still young. He fits like Cade's timeline. I think that Detroit, to West, to that point, I think Detroit is a year away from their third star, quote unquote, or their second star, like their big splash. I think they're gonna just try and
Laurie
put
Market
pieces
and
back
Trey
together.
Murphy. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, but Nola has to come down on that price because what they said last year around the deadline was just too expensive for everybody. For
It was
Trey
too
Murphy.
much. Yeah.
So I don't think Detroit's in the business to overpay, because the other thing too is like Ron might be good. I don't think they're out on Ron Holland as a basketball player just yet.
I
Asar,
agree.
obviously, you're rocking with the gamble of his offensive game because defensively he's just too damn good. So like you're kind of fine with him. So I feel like I think Detroit's just going to try and put puzzle pieces back together. Don't do anything too crazy. Whether that means resign Tobias or not, I don't know. But like, if they can bring him back for cheap, then they probably just do that. And I think they
I'm not
run it
gonna
back
lie.
one more year after is when they go in for a JB or a big swing kind of player.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's another team in the East that we haven't brought up that to me is fire sale season for this team. They got picks. They got a high pick this year. They got contracts. They got players. Atlanta could make some moves. Atlanta got some shit they can get up off of if they really want to, bro. I don't think Nikhil has to be on the roster, and I think teams will love to go get Nikhil. Like, they have players they can move if they need to me.
Yeah. When I posed the question, I said I threw that little nugget in there aside from, because I figured that would be a team that you all would.
Of course.
It does make a whole lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think they're a team with the contracts, the players, the picks that can easily appease, whoever they're getting in bed with. It's like, okay, but it's funny though too, because it's like, yeah, Jalen could go back to Atlanta or back to Georgia. He's not really an Atlanta kid, but he could go back to Georgia. But if I'm Atlanta, as much as I love Jalen, I don't know if I want to get in the business of that, because
that's what I'm saying.
I hear that too, Wex. Yeah.
To be a team that, like, I love Jalen. I don't think that gets you over the hump, and I don't think it gets you one other move away from being over the hump. I think getting Jalen puts you in a position where, okay, we make the playoffs every year, but I think they would still be like 2 moves away from being over the hump, and I just think it's tough. It's tough.
It's a good point to make, honestly.
Atlanta's in such a weird spot. I agree that they could fire sale. I don't think they want to. I think they want to kind of like, be relevant, get a playoff series or 2 for the next couple of years, and see, like, I think they're high on Jalen Johnson. They could see if he actually grows. Nall obviously just had the best season of his entire career. He's pretty young, so like he might develop. I don't know that's either of them ever going to be 1A players, but I think they rather just kind of like build out. the JB money is just the problem. And I
It
mean,
is
then
a
I think
lot.
the fit's also
Yeah.
a thing. Like, I think they keep Nall regardless. I think you just don't trade like one of the best free agent signings the last couple of years. And again, Jalen Johnson, I think is basically untouchable as far as they're concerned, their line of thinking. So like, okay, you move off a guy like Dyson to try and make room for JB because I don't think Dyson's a true one long term. But that's just a pain. Like now, like okay, can you actually move Dyson Daniels for ease of cap space to help like facilitate the JB thing, and also like have a one because I don't think they re-signed CJ, and CJ was kind of a big deal for them, like especially
Yeah.
later in the year. So
He's why they beat
I
the
don't
Knicks
know.
twice. So
That's a thing. Like I think CJ, like shout out to him, he just earned another paycheck when
he did.
like beginning of the season. I thought for sure he was on his way out. The way like things were going and like the rep around the league. But he just earned himself another nice contract. So yeah, I don't know. Atlanta, I agree. It's like it'd be cool if it happened. It's so tough. There's one too many steps they'd have to do. Yeah, I guess unfortunately I'm settling on like the boring answer is Miami. The Portland thing it just got like way more exciting. I would love for Portland to actually like make some more noise in the West.
That's not crazy to say, man. I I hear all that, but like it's funny because there's another Eastern Conference team that to me I think they don't know what they're gonna do. They just replaced their head coach. They got to see how this experiment works. But like the Magic are also super interesting because the Paulo Franz experiment, they're getting a new coach. He's gonna, I think, come in there, reevaluate if that can work or not. And I think after this year, they might be also in the business of trading some of their guys. It could be Paulo, it could be Franz. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, this is their last year. I think
I think
they're
so.
riding out with this team and seeing what it can be. On paper, if guys play, I still think this could be. I don't know. I mean, especially if Giannis moves to somewhere else in the East, it might be tougher to say. They should be a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. Again, if guys play games, that's where I'm at. Having said that, guys haven't been able to play games and they haven't lived up to the hype yet. But this is the final Paulo and Franz season for sure. One of them is gone. If we don't get honestly, if they don't get an ECF appearance, as crazy as that is, I think if they don't get one, that partnership's being broken up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I could see it. I heard a lot of people throw out potentially moving Paolo for Giannis, like them sweeping in and being like,
I was hearing that too. Yeah.
We'll trade P5. What do you say? Like we'll give you 5 seconds to answer. You're not gonna get a better young player than this. This is the blue chipper that can help expedite your rebuild, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't see it.
I don't see it.
I don't see Orlando punting going.
I don't think Orlando's ready for that.
3-year-old, yeah, 23-year-old, for a 32-year-old or 31. How old is Giannis? 32, 31?
I think it's like 30, 32, I think.
Yeah, I just.
That's also just bad for a new head coach.
Yeah,
That's
like you trade for
new head
Giannis,
coach.
Giannis takes over the entire team.
Well, actually,
at least
that's
if you,
why people are saying that they do it because he has a connection with Giannis. Apparently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh.
I'm not okay.
He was coaching in Milwaukee before he got picked up by the Spurs.
I don't want to sound like a hater, but it's like I think people have to realize when you're trading for Giannis, you're accelerating whatever timeline you have around Giannis, which means if you're the Magic, all the lackluster talent you already have, you have to basically get better talent on top of Giannis, and you're trading Paolo for it. Like I just don't think they're really in that right. Like I don't think the blueprint of the team is built for Giannis, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, what roster?
Outside of Wendell, I mean, if you get rid of Paolo, I don't think it's just Paolo. By the way,
I think Bane fits him. They still are two shooters. Short.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Suggs as a shooter.
Yeah,
I do like Suggs as a player. but he, between the injuries and
Yeah.
the inconsistent shot and his own, like, he has no creation chops. I'm sorry, bro.
I like Jay Howard, but he's not good. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
tough.
true.
They are still missing like that
They
other
still
ball
have
handler.
Jace. This I would.
I ain't gonna lie, Jace could be good. Jace could be
Yeah,
good though.
but
he's just
they
short.
got to be in a position to let him get on the court.
Right.
I can't. They can't defend.
I
Trey,
don't
to
see
be
it.
honest. Yeah, they're still too young. They have too many young players that they need to see what we have in you
Yeah.
to move. They still got to figure out, to Derek's point, what they have in their tandem.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's why Boston and Miami are in the driver's seat, because they're both veteran teams with veteran coaching staffs that their framework makes sense. Like, okay, boom, you have Giannis and bam, like you have a defensive superstar front court, and you try to see if you can get good enough shooting, and you have great coaching who can be creative. Okay, fine, that makes sense. In Boston, obviously, you have shooters all over the floor. I personally do believe if he does go to Boston, Giannis is gonna have to play some more minutes at 5. I know that's not a fun thing to say, but that as having Tatum as your 4, you can buy it. Like, okay, I can see how they overall try to make it work, and that's like the next I would say peak in his career at the 5 more. Like, cool. But they have the shooting that makes it all make sense. Like, the fit has to make sense to me.
Boston's scared, man. If they
They should be scared.
That's tough. Like, again, I think they will go into the next season with a very similar roster, just a better player.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of scary in terms of, like, okay, we don't have more ancillary talent. We just improved on one of our best players. We just took it up a notch, right? But that's a hell of a notch. Like, I love Jaylen Brown.
It changes your shot diet.
Top 5 player, and you
Yeah, that's
go
crazy.
from JT being your 1A to JT being your 1B.
I think he's a perfect 1B. I think Tatum's a perfect 1B to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I think what's scary about Boston too, it's like, and I mean, it kind of sucks at the same time, because again, their whole season is just the playoffs. They clearly proved last year they can be fine in the regular season with their system. So if Giannis is missing 20 games a season, which is probably like the expectation, and same with Tatum, like if you got to give him rest, like your team should be fine without him. I
don't think Giannis has to play heavy minutes in the regular season for them as he did with the Bucks anymore, because it's like they have that in place now. That's huge.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they fill out around him, because obviously, like, if D White's not the shooter he once was, he's still obviously a positive player. It's like, what else are you surrounding him with? Like, like if they're young guys, like, develop, like a Hugo turns into something that he was more of a bright spot than I originally thought. They might already have it, but they should have money to spend even with Giannis. If it is like a, JB leaves, Giannis comes in, they'll have some more money after that, which is all the more scary.
In the chat, JD said, I think we go after Kobe White, Colin Sexton, or bring back Anthony Simons. And for the bigs, we go after Miles Turner, Rob Will, or even Mitchell Robinson. I mean, Boston has money to do that, low-key.
Yeah, I mean, they could have Rob Will come home. They could have Porzingis come home. they could, just like they're gonna want a backup big in some capacity outside of just Keita.
Of course,
who, should still be there.
Yeah.
They need someone better than Vooch was. So go get somebody. And then I mean, like, is it out of the realm of possibility they're a CJ team? Like, for veteran guard,
I didn't even think about that. He never cost that much money.
Like,
I don't think so.
And if you throw in the possibility, we're going to be a top 3 team in the East, bar none. Like, CJ probably thinks like that's your best chance to win. Like,
I could buy that.
That's they're a fun team. They're fun team. They got possibilities. But Kobe White, also younger. Like, that's a player that could definitely get a payday.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It will definitely be interesting. Few quick hitters. Is Kyrie on the move? Yes or no?
So, like, Dallas said he's not. And what's interesting to me about them saying that is it's either they're dead ass serious, which wouldn't surprise me because I do think having a veteran player like Kyrie is a good influence on Cooper Flag. I do think that does matter. However, we've seen teams in the past say this guy is not available to jack up the price. If they get thrown a crazy offer, I don't think they're saying no for Kyrie, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know who the offer is. Again, I'm hesitant to trade for Kyrie because a small guard coming off of an ACL who's also north of 30 is just, it's risky, as talented as Kyrie is. I need to have like a really good built-in team already that can cover up for, definitely the defense, and like an insurance policy if Kyrie needs more time to rehab / gets injured again. So I don't know who that is, but I'm certainly listening to the phone if I'm Dallas, because I just think clearly Kyrie's just out on the timeline, and him and Flag are really never going to be able to play together like they should, as fun as that be.
Yeah. Do you all think that Golden State, you see any big move, any redirection of Jimmy to acquire distressed asset elsewhere and give it another go?
I haven't talked about this team in so long, and it's my team. I'm gonna be so real. They're in position to make adjustments. I think for them, they're trying to go after either LeBron or Kawhi. I get the LeBron stuff, but in my opinion, Kawhi is the better fit because of the shooting. Like I want someone to be able to like shoot. However, LeBron playmaking with Steph, I mean that is still gonna be a force no matter how old LeBron does get. But I think I'll be honest with you. I don't think they're trading Jimmy Butler. I think they're going to wait it out. I think he's shown how he fits perfectly on the team. And I think they're going to try to get another guy who can carry the load without him for the first part of the season. I think after he comes back, you're now really in play. I think they have the $30 million expiring for Porzingis, and ironically, they still have their picks, so they could be a team. And I'm gonna say this much: if we gonna say, oh, the Spurs are gonna be top, well, they have a player who's anti-Wemby because of the 3-point shooting. So it's just a matter of like finding out what the fits are. I still don't know if they're gonna draft their pick or trade it. I still don't know. This seems very confusing. I have to see. Like, I think after the draft, we'll know exactly what teams are gonna do, in my opinion. So this week says a lot to me, Wes. It does.
Nice.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, I want them to go get Kawhi. Like, please go get one. Like, give Steph one last run. We've been asking for seemingly for like 4 years. I like the LeBron tandem is kind of like, honestly, it's growing on me. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be shades of the Olympics a little bit. I think they both had a ton of fun playing with each other. They obviously are like just a story tandem, two of the best players of their generation. So yeah, I think it'd be fun. It's just LeBron has to take a pay cut for like
and I don't know if he's doing that.
Like,
I don't know if LeBron ever doing that in his career. I don't know.
Whether it's going back to LA, going home to Cleveland, going to Golden State. Like, if you want a chance to win at any of those places, you need to take the pay cut. I just don't I don't know. It'd be cool if he did. I guess it's just not happening. Yeah, Kawhi, I just feels more realistic, but I hear Gifted's point. I don't think Golden State's interested in trading Jimmy just yet, just because of how cool it looked when he was healthy, but I don't know. I don't know if they got the time.
It's running out.
Solid. My only other two players are going to be Kawhi and Ja, but we can table it.
Ja's a good name though, because I have no idea where Ja goes. I've been really thinking about teams, and all the teams I think of either have a point guard or have no use for Ja. Unfortunately,
he's just such a gamble right now.
I think he's staying.
Like, I just I don't know if I'm not in the job market. If I'm running a show, like, I just too much of a risk right now as far as like being able to play basketball and then can I make up for what you lack? That's a lot.
I think two teams, Minnesota and Miami. Miami flames out with Giannis. I think they'll kind of have no choice. I think their fan base deserves something. And I think they're going to be in a position. And he's inexpensive. Like, it's been reported the market is very dry for him.
Very dry.
That, and then, yeah, for Minnesota, it's like if Kyrie's too much of a, price. The Kawhi thing could get interesting, though, because if LA is willing to move Kawhi, I think it could get really
A lot of teams could pop up real quick. You're right about that.
Detroit team just talking about.
I think Kawhi makes a lot of sense in Detroit.
I think, oh my gosh, I think Kawhi would be so amazing in Detroit.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota, Miami could still, heck, if they flame out on Giannis, why not? I think it could get really interesting. So, yeah, but I know we're about to wrap here, fellas. So I'm eager to talk about the draft with the next episode. And
definitely.
We have movement.
I'm pretty sure our next episode is going to take place after all the drafts. So probably like the 25th or 26th. I'll make y'all up with a time. We got nothing but time now because we are officially in the off season. So how that all pans out will be super duper interesting. But we definitely had to like recap the finals and like all of the top tier teams. I will say this though. The fact that we still don't have a team repeating for the title speaks to the unpredictability of the NBA. And if there's one thing I can count on, we're either going to get a very dry offseason where nothing actually happens or a crazy one. It's a very volatile NBA market right now, Derek.
I feel like the days of a quiet offseason are kind of over. I think the NBA treats it like their third season. That we're going to get some movement. We're going to get some exciting deals or some kind of surprise. I do think Giannis is going to be on the move one way or another. So I think we're in for a good offseason.
Yeah. Well, this has been the Locker Room. We will aim to do it at least 2 episodes a month, if not more. I'm positive it's going to be some crazy shit that goes down. I think the Giannis trade might happen this week. Very possible because I think the Bucks want to make that trade done before the draft, which is the only reason why I say that. But again, how many times can we get pump faked by this goddamn team?
Hopefully that's it. Hopefully one more. And this is the last one.
Yeah. As always, make sure to tap in with Wes and Derek. I'll give them the floor. Derek, feel free to, I guess, promote yourself to the people.
Yeah, I mean, plug's the same. At Derek R. Stein on Twitter. It'll be active. I'm gonna be doing probably a little bit of film review. I think Allen Graves is the next prospect for the Sixers. Draft prospect I'm looking at. Probably kind of a boring as far as names off season for the Sixers coming up, but an interesting one nonetheless. And then we'll be right back after the Locker Room, but I'll be tapped in with all 3 of the guys here as far as like the off season now in full swing.
Word up. And Wes has been a very busy man. He's been hard working every day of this now off season. Wes, how you doing?
Yeah, same. Pretty consistent guy. Like, again, always thankful for these fellas, and grateful to the chat for what we're building and just coming on this journey along with us. My social is at Weston West, as my username says, and there's new music on the way. So that's dope. It, man. W's. There we go. W's. But man, a great NBA season. Now that it's over, we gear up for next
season.
Exactly.
We do it all over again, man. So
especially with this upcoming draft class too, like that's gonna be a thing.
Very true. Very interested in seeing what happens. Does AJ DeBansta go 1? Do they shock everybody and go Cam Boozer? Does Darren Peterson sneak in? Just amazing to see what's going to happen. Where does Caleb Wilson fall? And a lot of talent coming into a very talented league. The most talented league we've ever had. So
absolutely.
Gifted. Get us out of here. Yeah.
Absolutely, y'all. Well, we'll catch y'all in the next one. Feel free to tap into the playlist. We have a playlist of all our episodes. This has been episode 11 of The Locker Room. Hit that like button. And as always, appreciate basketball. Now there is no more of it. Also, basketball isn't over. The W season is active. It's live. I will be tapping in a lot more with the W and what's been going on with there. So definitely tap in. But we'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out, people.